Morning, it's October 5th, and this is To My Liberal Friends. Well, don't look now, but there's some real problems in our economy that could have a great impact on every person in the country. The first one remains the national debt. We're now north of $33 trillion, and it's expected to add an additional $2 trillion by the end of this fiscal year. And there seems to be no end in sight to this escalating debt, and you can pretend it's not there, but it will start costing us all in the near future. Congress has played brinkmanship with funding the government, and last Saturday they passed a 45-day continuing resolution to keep the government shutting down. It was a strong bipartisan vote in both the House and Senate, with Democrats finally realizing they had to quit posturing and deliver the votes needed to pass the CR. It ended up costing Kevin McCarthy his speakership. The antics of the Freedom Caucus have got to stop. They've got to stop, and they've got to quit doing this kind of stuff. The next crisis is one that we can all see happening on a daily basis. And I'm talking about the cost of oil, which is headed towards $100 a barrel, and that means gas and diesel prices are once again on the rise. We've been watching oil prices move upwards since June, since the production cuts were announced by OPEC+, and it's been a 30% increase. We continue to wage a war on fossil fuels in this country, and the Biden administration is living up to its pledge to basically eliminate the use of oil and gas. It has forced the American public to become used to gas prices that are over $4 a gallon in many places. The increase of diesel fuel is critical to the economy because this is the primary fuel the trucks use that deliver the goods to the grocery stores and retail outlets. That means those products will start to tick upward again, and we may get another round of inflation that could get near 7%. Then you have the United Auto Workers striking against Detroit's big three automakers, GM, Ford, and Stellantis. In just 1 week, it's cost the U.S. economy over $1.6 billion, according to a study from the Anderson Group. And although the strike originally involved less than 15,000 union members, it is slowly becoming more widespread and making it a key risk to the Fed's inflation-fighting goal. Some 7,000 more union members left their jobs at a Ford plant in Chicago and General Motors assembly factory near Lansing last Friday. The UAW is demanding a 45% wage increase over the length of the contract, and they would also demand a 32-hour work week, which is basically another wage increase. They want the companies to restore defined benefit pensions, something they negotiated away in a previous contract, and they want the companies to assume all the health care costs of employees, even after the union took a massive lump sum to pay these costs and basically frittered the money away. These demands could very well lead to both slowing down the economy and help drive inflation higher. Beginning now, all of the people that have not had to pay payments on their student loans will have to either restart the payments or, for a bunch of them, begin repaying loans for the first time. That means these people will have less money to spend on things they've normally been doing. They will not be able to go out to dinner as much as they might like. That vacation they thought they should be taking will either not happen or be scaled back. And I want to make a point that I don't believe the government should be forgiving this debt because it's unfair to so many people who either pay their student loans or those who never borrowed. But that money will not be in the economy as it goes to the lenders. The housing market has been on hold for the past several months, but inflation has forced the Fed to take actions. This created problems for many people, but particularly for home buyers who are facing the highest interest rates in more than 2 decades, with a 30-year rate nearing 7.5%, a far cry from the sub-3% days of the early pandemic. And these higher rates are making buying a home nearly impossible for those trying to buy a home for the first time and for those who would like to move up to a larger home. The higher mortgage rates begin to impact buyers and sellers at all stages of their lives. A couple that's retiring, they seek to move to another area, but now they find that selling their home becomes more difficult because potential buyers cannot afford the home with the high mortgage rates. A young couple has been saving to buy their first home, and now the cost of that mortgage has basically doubled with rates at their present level. The real bad news is that interest rates are not going to come down anytime soon. Politicians kept saying it was not a problem spending all that money because interest rates were so low and they were just minimal. But now the Fed has told us they expect to keep interest rates high for the next many years. Now selling that debt will not be as easy, and the interest on our national debt is going to keep growing. In fiscal year 23, it is expected about $663 billion, and that's about 10% of our budget. To put that in perspective, our defense budget is $806 billion. It's catching up. If the politicians that are running the country were truly interested in how their decisions impact the average American, they would get it through their thick skulls that government spending beyond our means cannot be sustained. When you print money and infuse it into the economy, the result is too many dollars chasing too few goods, and the result is inflation. The secondary effect is interest rates rise. They need to face the facts and start telling the voters that the train ride is over and all of these programs that various sections of society like are no longer affordable. And that goes for both Republicans and Democrats. Congress will have to admit they cannot be the piggy bank for every problem that someone says they have. The cost of servicing our debt has to become a priority, and that means reducing spending and making an attempt to live within our revenues. This has been To My Liberal Friends. Thanks for listening. If you enjoy the podcast, recommend to your friends. If you have a comment, please leave it.